Ozzy Osbourne was a rock star whose shadow stretched far across the landscape of music and pop culture. This is the true story of his incredible life. Less than a month after taking the stage on a black throne for what would be his final performance, Ozzy Osbourne, one of the inventors of heavy metal, died at the age of 76. The hard rock and reality TV icon's family announced his death in a statement released on July 22, 2025. It read, in part, "It is with more sadness than words can convey that we must share the news that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne passed away this morning. He was with his family, surrounded by love." The statement did not include a cause or exact time of death, but to the millions who knew him as the Prince of Darkness, the decline had been visible for years. In 2019, the former Black Sabbath frontman was diagnosed with Parkinsonism, a rare genetic condition similar to Parkinson's that ultimately left him unable to walk.
It's not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination, but it does affect certain nerves in your body.
Photos showing him using a cane, struggling to get into a car, and leaning on others for support had long worried fans. They also fueled a wave of internet hoaxes, including AI-generated deep fake videos that falsely claimed to show Ozzy discussing his impending death. His daughter Kelly recently condemned the fakery on Instagram in a post that, in hindsight, feels all the more heartbreaking.
Yes, he has Parkinson's, and yes, his mobility is completely different than it used to be, but he's not f***ing dying. What is wrong with you?
While the video was a fake, it appears Ozzy truly was in worse shape than his fans and peers suspected. When the news of his death broke, tributes quickly poured in from across the musical landscape, including this from the official Black Sabbath account on X, "Ozzy Forever."
My life's been incredible.
Growing up in the English city of Birmingham, Ozzy Osbourne recalled experiencing a lifelong inferiority complex. In an interview with GQ, he opened up about some of the reasons why he felt that way. Coming from working-class stock, money was tight for young Ozzy, and personal hygiene wasn't exactly stressed in his family. This led to a humiliating incident, he recalled, when the headmaster at his school sent him home because he was apparently not clean enough. A public shaming which left him incredibly embarrassed. He carried that memory with him for decades to follow. He also performed poorly in school, struggling with tasks that others made look easy. It wasn't until long after school had ended that he discovered that he was dyslexic.
So we didn't realise he was dyslexic. We just thought perhaps he was like, slow to learn.
By then, the damage to his psyche was already done. He told GQ, "I always feel like I'm on the dark side of the tracks. I feel I'm no good. I can't read. I can't concentrate. I have no faith in my ability to judge things. Everything that I think is good is bad, and everything that I think is bad is good." While his performance in school bordered on abysmal, there was one area in which he managed to shine: music. And not the kind of music you'd expect. What had later been known for some of the heaviest metal in the history of metal, in high school, he honed his skills on Gilbert and Sullivan musicals, specifically The Mikado and HMS Pinafore. In his younger years, Osbourne dabbled in petty crime. He revealed in an interview with The Big Issue, long after any statute of limitations had presumably ended, "I tried a bit of burglary, but I was no good at that. Useless." After just a few weeks as a burglar, the future rock star was arrested. His dad's words in response were simple: "That was very stupid."
That's the shop that I broke into. That was Mrs. Clark's shop I broke into.
Elaborating for louder sound, Osbourne confessed that he was simply trying to be accepted into the local gang. Instead, he was sent to jail, and his father refused to pay the fine that would have seen him released. Ozzy said, "When I came out, he said to me, 'I could have paid the fine, but I wanted to teach you a lesson.' It worked because I didn't want to go back there again." Ozzy was in there for about a month, he recalled. More than enough to make him realize that a life of crime was not the way he wanted to go. Instead, he picked up more grounded, workmanlike vocations like car horn tuning. If you don't know what a car horn tuner is, Ozzy explained in his 2010 autobiography, "I Am Ozzy." His job, he wrote, was to pick up the car horns at a factory as they passed on a conveyor belt and adjust each with a screwdriver until it honked in the proper pitch. His other job as a plumber's apprentice sounds much less aggravating, except for one unexpected detail: the cold weather he experienced fixing burst frozen pipes in the middle of winter. He used more flowery language for it, but basically, he spent the job literally freezing his ass off. Back in 1981, Ozzy Osbourne left Black Sabbath and embarked on a solo career when he made a snap decision in the midst of a business meeting. In the Black Sabbath biography, Symptom of the Universe, author Mick Wall wrote that the rocker's manager and later wife, Sharon Arden, had arranged for Osbourne to make a short speech at his record label's annual sales convention. The pièce de résistance, Wall wrote, was for Osbourne to conclude his speech by releasing a trio of white doves into the air. Osbourne, however, was drunk and bored. Osbourne told Wall, "I just remember this PR woman going on and on at me. In the end, I said, 'Do you like animals?' Then I pulled out one of these doves and bit its head off just to shut her up. Then I did it again with the next dove, spitting the head out on the table, and the woman fell on the floor screaming. That's when they threw me out. They said I'd never work for CBS again." Perhaps one of Ozzy's most iconic moments was when he bit the head off of a live bat during a concert in Des Moines, Idaho in 1982. Believe it or not, it wasn't his original intention. As Osbourne said in the A&E documentary, The 9 Lives of Ozzy Osbourne,
"It was a kind of an accident, which I did milk somewhat."
According to Osbourne, somebody in the audience threw what he assumed was a rubber bat on stage, but that was not the case. He said,
And I picked one, I put it in my mouth and punched them. I just bit into it, being a clown that I am. Oh no, it's real,
As a result of his onstage gimmick, Osbourne was forced to have painful rabies shots after the show. He said,
"All I did was get out there and make a mistake of biting a head off a bat. And I tell you what, guys, it ain't fun when you get them rabies shots."
One of the most monumental scientific achievements of the past century has been the Human Genome Project, a 13-year project striving to identify all the approximately 20,500 genes in human DNA. According to Discover, one of the first subjects sought by the project was Ozzy Osbourne. As Osbourne wrote in a column for the Sunday Times, he felt he was the perfect candidate, given his history of heavy drug use. As he put it at the time, "There's really no plausible medical reason why I should still be alive. Maybe my DNA could say why." Researcher Nathaniel Pearson sequenced Osbourne's genes and revealed that the singer had numerous gene variants they'd never seen before. In addition to a predisposition to addiction, Osbourne also boasted some genetic mutations in terms of how his body processed alcohol and drugs. When the Osbournes debuted on MTV in 2002, the reality show became an instant hit, depicting the far-from-normal home life of Ozzy Osbourne, wife/manager Sharon Osbourne, and teenage kids Kelly and Jack.
Meet the perfect American family.
Jack, stop telling people you're Ozzy Osbourne's son to get into places because you're a loser.
While he was already an icon to headbanging metalheads, the show brought Ozzy to a level of mainstream fame he hadn't yet experienced. Looking back at the Osbournes in an interview with Metal Hammer, the former Black Sabbath frontman admitted the experience of doing the show was shattering. He explained that the amount of money he was offered to do the show was what first got him on board, but eventually the experience grew thin. He said, "I thought it was going to be a piece of cake, but you have a camera crew living in your house for 3 years and see how you feel at the end of it. You feel like a laboratory rat." Being filmed constantly led Ozzy Osbourne to begin falling apart emotionally. As he put it, "You can't relax. It doesn't matter where you go for a piss. You're paranoid there's a camera in there." One of the darkest times in Ozzy's life was when Sharon was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2002. As the family related in the first edition of the Osbournes podcast, Sharon had become despondent, refusing to resume chemo. Ozzy, who had recently seen Robin Williams in Patch Adams, reached out to the actor to see if he would come by and help lift her spirits.
"I have a cold. Just a bit of a cold. Is my nose red? Oh, it is. It's red."
Sharon recalled being half asleep and a little woozy from her medication when Williams appeared in her bedroom. Kelly, Sharon's daughter, described what it was like to witness, from the bottom of the stairs anyway, the magic of Williams' humor. She recalled, "I just remember sitting at the bottom of the stairs and we went from crying, not knowing what to do, to peeing ourselves laughing because we could hear Mom upstairs in her room laughing with Robin. The next day it changed everything, and Mom went back to chemo." Considering how many other heartwarming stories we've all heard about Williams over the years, this one isn't surprising at all. It's just one tiny piece of his sprawling legacy as the funniest and most thoughtful celebs in Hollywood history. There was a brief period in between his tenure with Black Sabbath and the launch of his successful solo career that Ozzy Osbourne considered ditching the music business entirely. He said in an interview with Classic Rock, "When I got fired from Sabbath, I thought, this is it. What can I do now? I'll buy a bar." That lasted about a month. He purchased the place for his then wife, Thelma Osbourne, who apparently asked him if he'd let someone else manage the pub, since he tended to drink most of the time he was there. Ozzy explained, "People weren't coming in because I was mad and I was drinking the profits every day." That was in Newport, Shropshire. I'm told that they still call that place Ozzy's. I don't know whether that's true or not. Apparently it was. As the Birmingham Mail reported, Ozzy Osbourne sold the place after 2 years, although it retained the original name, Ozzy's Wine Bar. Sadly, the pub shut down in 2012 due to a slump in business, but later reopened under its original name, Ozzy's. As of 2025, it's a sports bar. When Ozzy Osbourne first joined up with the musicians who would eventually make music history as Black Sabbath, there were some interpersonal dynamics that needed to be resolved. As Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler explained in an interview with Metal Hammer, Osbourne and guitarist Tony Iommi had some history. He revealed, Ozzy had been to school with Tony, and they hated each other. Tony had bullied him at school. However, Osbourne himself disputed that characterization. He clarified, "People say he used to beat me up. He never did."
Ozzy was at school in a younger year than me. With me. But I didn't really associate with him at school.
Still, it was clear there was bad blood between the two when Iommi showed up at Osbourne's door, answering an ad seeking a guitarist. He immediately recognized the singer. As he recalled, "When he came to the door, I said to Black Sabbath drummer Bill Ward, 'Oh no, forget it, I know this guy.'" Osbourne somehow managed to talk Iommi into sticking around, and the rest is history. The vocalist joked, "I have no idea what I said to Tony outside my house that night to make him change his mind and give me a chance. I think the fact that I had a PA system probably helped.